We already have a system of regulation in place, and I can assure you we're going to take very great care that there is no damage to the water supply and that there aren't risks involved in the fracturing before any of it's allowed to go ahead.
The track record of the unconventional gas industry in the UK is somewhat less than impressive. Of course, it started with the seismic events being triggered by Cuadrilla at Priest Hall, where they continued to frack even though they knew they had damaged the casing of the well. Then iGas at Barton Moss contaminated the well site. This really only came into the public domain after a series of court hearings, and the press restrictions were actually only lifted in early March of 2015. iGas and Peel Holdings are denying that they were responsible for these chemical leaks, but without providing access for the independent expert to return to the site, then unfortunately one can only assume that they have something to hide. Now, more recently, in East Yorkshire, Rathlin Energy were responsible for considerable property damage as a result of their seismic testing.
Possibly the largest single piece of damage that has been caused is that there is a fishing lake which started to go down immediately following the detonation of these charges, began to fall by about 2 inches a day. Having been informed of this, Rathlin Energy paid Yorkshire Water to allow water to go into that lake on a daily basis.
The water coming from Yorkshire Water is going to be chlorinated?
Chlorinated, yes. And you can only put so much of that into the lake before you will begin to have problems with the fish suffering from chlorination of the water.
And the business owner has potentially lost £1,000 a week in terms of revenue. And although initially Rathlin gave the business owner the impression that they would rectify this because they absolutely accepted that they were responsible, they've now reneged on that and have effectively forced the business owner to initiate legal proceedings.
I think there's a huge amount of myths that are being put round in order to frighten people about shale gas extraction.
The industry effectively silences any criticism as quickly as it possibly can, simply by buying the silence of those who have been affected. And we've now even seen it in the UK with Rathlin Energy offering compensation to people whose properties were damaged during the recent seismic testing, but that compensation reportedly only being paid provided a confidentiality agreement was signed and that the house owner would no longer claim that the damage was actually caused as a result of Rathlin Energy.
They're gonna drill down beneath this town, no fracking way. The wheels are turning, can you hear that sound? No fracking way. They're gonna push poison into the ground, no fracking way.